So, in this we are going to talk about infrastructure as code, right. So, this is the final module of DevOps course. What is this infrastructure as code? I will just recall what we have studied before: pipeline as code, right. We have talked about YAML configuration. Okay, what we were doing here, the whole pipeline or the steps of sequence of steps which has to be performed in the CI/CD pipeline, we were writing it as a code, right. So, we were writing some scripting or JSON kind of code where it contains all the instructions to be followed in for achieving that CI/CD pipeline. So, the CI/CD pipeline was written as code, that is what we call as pipeline as code, and we have written YAML file, YAML configuration file. In the same way, here we were talking about pipeline of CI/CD, that is making a build, converting it into image, right, or you want to test, do some basic testing, okay, everything we have, or installation of some software, installing some module package, all those things we have done in the pipeline as code. So, it is coming basically after you write the code, there comes the concept of pipeline as code. Once the writing code process is completed, only then we start talking about pipeline as code or YAML file, right. But before going to that, the code itself, we have another interesting concept, that is infrastructure as code. Okay, I will give you two simple examples to understand what is this infrastructure as code, right. So, I will give one simple silly example first, and then I will talk about the technical example. Okay, biryani example, right. If you want to prepare biryani, you know the process. It's very, no, it's not that easy as preparing white rice. It has lot of stuff to be done, right. Maybe you are doing some veg or non-veg biryani, you have to do lot of tasks there, right. So, maybe in simple terms I will say you are doing task 1, then task 2, task 3, task 4, task 5, and finally you have to do 6 tasks to prepare a biryani, let us say, right. So, if this is the task, okay, you are running one hotel restaurant, you are running some hotel business or restaurant business, okay, and when an order came to you, biryani order came to you, you have to spend time in doing all these tasks, only then you can prepare the final outcome. Okay, after 2-3 hours, again another order came for you to prepare the same biryani. So, what you have to do? Again you have to complete the process from T1 to T6. Let us say after, in the night again, there is maybe let us say there is some special biryani which you do not prepare regularly. If that order comes, only then you start preparing it. So, it takes time to prepare. Second time, on the same day, we also got another special order for that second time. Same, I have to repeat the same process, because I do not prepare it and store it with me, because it is a very unique one and nobody orders it. So, it takes time for us to, because if I prepare it and keep and nobody purchases it, it is loss for me. So, what the hotel people will do? There are some very unique things which they do not prepare. Upon receiving the order only they will do the task, right. Or it is a that is the reason we are not having we are not completing T1 to T4 and keeping it ready, like for other types of biryani. Maybe they have these things ready, only they have to do T5 and then T6 and give you the biryani. Whereas for this special biryani, they will not do it from beginning, they will do it only once the order comes. So, it is taking time, again they have to repeat the whole procedure. Third thing also same, after 2-3 hours again the same order came. So, again I have to repeat from T1 to T6, right. So, this is a challenging task and time taking task. Though it is challenging and time taking, I cannot take risk. You may say, instead of preparing it always from beginning, why don't you make it and keep it ready with you? If there is no order, I will be in loss. So, I do not want to take risk. I am okay in spending time. In preparing the biryani. For that reason, right, what we are trying to do here, okay, we are doing it from the beginning. Instead of that, what is infrastructure as code? Instead of that, you have a premix ready-made available with you. Premix. You have not prepared it. Okay, you have not prepared it, but you are making a premix. Okay, some instant premix or some thing you are storing it in the refrigerator, or maybe you are having it it's at some place. So what will happen here? Whenever the order comes, you just have to take this whole biryani mix and pour in the hot water. It will make you that special biryani instead of doing the task from T1 to T6. I think you understand about instant. Every day, everything is instant today, right? So infrastructure as a code is something which is a set of instructions prepared and kept readily. Whenever the order comes, then you start doing it. It saves your time, because step number T1 to T4 are already completed and stored in this, and it is not that it will be wasted. It can be reused. It can be used any day, today or tomorrow, day after tomorrow, any day I can use it. So for that reason, I have done something readily available, and then I have my job is to just pour into hot water, and earlier it was taking 1 hour to prepare. Now maybe in 20 minutes I can complete that. So I am saving some time here in the infrastructure as code. But by using this premix, I am not doing that. So same is your infrastructure as code. Now let me go to a technical example which you can easily relate this. What is the technical example here with infrastructure as code? Okay, I am running one lab. We have labs in our colleges. So in lab, every time I have one lab actually. Let's say lab 1. There are some 100 systems. Okay, this time maybe July 2026. Okay, I want to teach software engineering, and I want to install some UML packages. Okay, or maybe star UML software to draw some UML diagrams, class diagram, use case diagram, activity diagram. To draw those diagrams, I want to install those packages. Right. So in July 2026 semester, I want to teach software engineering, and for that reason, and also I want to do some lab exercise. I have to install these softwares in my 100 systems. Okay, can I go and install in every system one by one? Typically, we don't do that. Okay, if I want to install these software packages in 100 systems, I will not be going there and doing it every time. No, yeah, one by one. I will not go to every system, on it, install that. In the second system, on it, install. It will take time, full time for me. Before the beginning of the semester, I have to do lot of effort. So it's a time waste. So what they do generally, they have one admin server where they install that here, and it replicates in the whole system, all 100 systems. It will be visible. It is done that way. But even when I have to install that in one server, right, it is also a time consuming process. Let's say I have one server, I am installing these packages in this server alone. Automatically that will be reflecting in these machines. Okay, that way if I do some setup, or automatically it is copied into these 100 systems, that way I can write some script and do some programming in my server. But even doing that in my server is a time consuming process. Okay, so now let's say I have done that. I have spent one day and I have installed that in my server, and it is reflecting in this machine. Then what happened in January 2027, the next semester, I had to, another faculty wants to do some other programming in this 100 systems. So what they will do, they will uninstall this UML. The lab people will remove this UML from that, and they will install the new software, whatever they want to teach. They will be installing the new software in this 100 systems. When again July 2027 comes, again the same headache or the same challenge. What is that? In those 100 systems, second time I have to install these softwares again. So why do we repeat the process always every year? Instead, I will write one script and I will save it with me. I will write one script and I will save it with me. So whenever the semester changes, okay, I just have to run that script, which will automatically do all the steps of the installation in this server, and which will automatically reflect in those 100 machines. And that script also contains uninstalling the previous Jan 2027 installed softwares. So, without wasting time, without having more headache, what we are doing, when July 2027 is coming, I am just running that script. So, the old installed software will be deleted, new software will be nicely installed, it will be copied into all systems, all that steps, all that installation, configuration settings, class path settings, everything it will be done automatically through a script, through a code, right. If you remember, in pipeline as code, we are talking about preparing a build, okay, preparing a build. Then we are also talking about doing some certain steps. We are giving the commands to execute the program. I am giving the Python program, I am giving the command to execute that Python program in the pipeline as code. Whereas in infrastructure as code, we are actually talking only about the software installations, configuration settings, class path settings, environment variable settings, all those settings which are required at the infrastructure level. Those things I am writing as code. So, for me, when I want to start a new lab, I will not go and sit and manually do the installation process in this server, or I will not do it manually in those 100 machines. I will just write one code, I will just write one script which will do it automatically with just one button click. I hope you understand this, right. So, I am having a ready-made script with me, one script is ready-made available with me. That script I am trying to just run it. Once I do, it will automatically do all those things, uninstalling the old semester software, installing new software, copying the code into 100 machines. Okay, all that task which we were doing it manually before is now running through a script. Just one script will automate it. This is not one example. There are hundreds of use cases where infrastructure as code is required in the whole process of DevOps. Okay, you want to set up a container, you want to start a container, right? Everything can be written as a script, right? We also talked about cron job, cron tab, right? Cron job or cron tab, we use this to run, automatically take backup every 5 minutes, every 1 hour, every 2 hours. So, it is all about scripting again, right. So, using infrastructure as a code, we are focusing more on the infrastructure level. We are trying to store the commands, installing software, uninstalling software, all that we are trying to write as code. So, the person need not spend much time in the laboratory to do the installation. See, he has to install the operating system, install Python, install VS Code, create Wi-Fi configuration has to be done, user creation has to be done, everything can be done using infrastructure as code. So, it is automatic process, right. Like this, we have a lot of such examples which can help us in doing it, right. So, I hope you understand what is this IAC and how it is helping in automating the process. Okay. So, let us go and see about the technical details of infrastructure as code, what is IAC, what are the different types of tools what we have, all the technical terms we will try to understand, right. So, this is just an example to explain you what is IAC. It all talks about writing a script which will automatically take care of the infrastructure level installations, configurations and settings, right. So, that is about the examples or simple analogy to understand IAC.